going to be safe with the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. You know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Disney formally threw in the towel on their most recent Snow White adaptation and announced a complete reboot following months of debate, industry backlash, and unrelenting fan anger. This is not another remake. Disney's frantic effort to restore one of their most valuable assets, win back enraged fans, and tidy what has become a major PR disaster is, for the studio, Rachel Zegler's current Snow White adaptation is a disastrous fail. Disney executives are watching in horror as the movie tanks, with audiences earning a brutal 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb after investing $300 million, 0 cents, on the project. Not only has the film underperformed, for the Walt Disney Company, it has evolved into a full-fledged identity crisis with no obvious fix for their 2025 box office forecasts. According to reports, CEO Bob Iger has entered pure panic over not only the Rachel Zegler backlash, but also the whole debate around the movie. Disney executives spoke at a private media event characterizing the recently revealed version as a, quote, course correction, essentially corporate language for "we truly screwed up and must quickly fix this." The situation has gotten so bad that even usually Disney-friendly critics who routinely defend the business have started to turn their backs. You know things have really hit crisis level when you are looking at rock-bottom IMDb ratings and past devoted media partners jumping ship. Disney is now pledging a return to classic narrative and a fresh respect of the heart and soul of the original fairy tale. They are not only creating another film, they are fervently trying to rebuild the confidence of viewers who feel deceived and mend damaged relationships with generations of Snow White lovers.
Then watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks.
You're replacing jobs that people could have as little people. Okay. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's for dwarfs, you know?
Originally presented as a bold, modern, feminist interpretation of the 1937 classic, the Rachel Zegler version drew attention for all the wrong reasons from first day. The movie veered wildly from the original plot, and those sharp deviations offended longtime Disney fans. What was meant to feel empowering turned out to be disrespectful of the magic making the original so beloved. After Zegler said remarks many viewers took as dismissive or even hostile toward the legacy of the original movie, the internet exploded. She said the love story was awkward and called the prince useless. She quickly went viral and caused general resentment among fans who felt the heart of a beloved classic was being haphazardly ripped apart behind the scenes. Disney insiders claimed the reaction caught executives totally off guard. Early test screenings had already shown mixed responses, but the whole impact didn't show until the official trailer released. That's when everything went off. Communities of fans, film critics, and nostalgic viewers came together in their dismay over the dramatic changes done to a narrative that had once defined Disney magic. The studio replaced classic songs like "Someday My Prince Will Come" with what many critics called horrible, modernized feminist alternatives. Now clearly trying to separate themselves from the fallout, reports claim Disney's PR teams were working overtime, frantically trying to control damage as hashtags slamming their creative choices trended nonstop across social media platforms. Offically, Disney has revealed a brand new Snow White project with late 2025 production scheduled. It's not only a fresh remake, it's a whole reset, with parents and lifelong fans wondering what happened to the Disney they knew and loved. Disney made one thing quite clear: even though the official cast is yet unknown, this remake will find its emotional center and visual appeal in the original animated classic. That means resurrecting beloved characters, classic musical numbers, and the magical fairy tale atmosphere that detractors claim was utterly absent from the Zegler version. Launching a new adaptation shortly after the last one highlights the urgency of the problem and how much depends on this project for Disney. This is about rescuing one of their most beloved stories from permanent damage in an effort to re-establish connection with the audience that once loved it, not only about remaking a film. Disney has been under increasing pressure to defend its recent wave of live-action remakes, many of which have seen declining success both financially and critically. The Snow White brand now runs the danger of being permanently damaged. Executives and studios think their only road to atonement is a well-crafted reboot. Insiders say the forthcoming remake will have a more conventional narrative arc, closely following the original 1937 plot and allowing space for a few subdued, polite updates. One producer says the changes will be polite rather than revisionist. The objective is to reintroduce timeless themes with a hint of modern elegance, rather than to mend what never broke. This change in tone clearly marks a departure from the past effort, which many felt was overly eager to demolish the basis of the original tale. Disney has not commented on particular specifics, but rumors of the new production are already whirlabout. Unlike the last movie, where off-screen comments became a major distraction, anonymous sources near the project indicate Disney is looking for a lead actress who embodies the classic elegance of old Hollywood, someone with charisma, warmth, and strong vocal ability. Stricter media training techniques are reportedly part of this new project to guarantee that messaging stays targeted and in line with the main ideas of the movie. The past Snow White adaptation generated controversy, not only from Zegler's remarks, but also from choices on how to show the seven dwarves. Prominent actor with dwarfism Peter Dinklage had attacked Disney for casting a Latina actress as Snow White, calling it progressive, while yet possibly showing dwarfs in a way he felt was out of date. Disney rapidly abandoned ideas for conventional dwarf characters in favor of magical creatures created with computer-generated imagery. With many actors with dwarfism expressing dissatisfaction at being denied roles especially fit for them, this choice generated still another backlash. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is about dwarfs. One actor remarked, "These are roles designed for actors my size. That's not for me, thus I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or George Clooney roles, now it's gone away." Disney's fresh emphasis on coherent narrative follows some hard lessons. Leaked records exposed internal strife among the studio's marketing, creative, and PR divisions over the Zegler film's release. These behind-the-scenes conflicts resulted in mixed messaging and a promotional campaign sometimes felt to be disorganized and contradictory. Disney is resolved not to make those same mistakes, since the lack of alignment degraded the image of the movie. There have been rather severe financial ramifications. Major stores slashing prices on toys and clothes just weeks after the previous Snow White release clearly indicated that fans were not really or emotionally consuming the merchandise. Disney's Consumer Products Division's reports showed that the business suffered a major financial loss, with unsold goods valued millions of dollars. Disney has assembled a whole fresh creative team to oversee the reboot in response to these issues. Early rumors suggest that the new screenwriter is renowned for striking a mix between intense feeling and solid, well-developed character arcs, a balance many felt lacking from the previous version. Although the director's name hasn't been formally revealed, sources claim he brings knowledge from both animated and live-action movies with appeal everywhere. Disney is hoping this fresh creative team can provide depth, heart, and a narrative that really connects with viewers all around that last version lacked. Though some changes are inevitable, the new narrative will essentially follow the original one. According to sources, the adored forest animals will make a comeback thanks to improved animation combining CGI with practical effects. These characters will be reinterpreted carefully under extra focus to avoid the controversies generated by past redesigns. Combining fresh songs with masterfully restored classics like "Someday My Prince Will Come," music will once again be a major player. Disney's choice to bring back seasoned animators and consultants, people who helped define the visual and emotional identity of Disney's golden era during the Renaissance period, may perhaps surprise most people. These seasoned experts have been brought on to mentor the new Snow White edition to insiders' tone, pace, and emotional flow. Disney executives now hold that rebuilding trust with viewers depends on re-establishing connection with the artistic roots of the business. The first press release for the project came out with a rather modest tone, freely admitting past errors without calling names. We understand the need of respecting the tales that shaped Disney into what it is now. This new chapter of Snow White is based on our respect and will to share ageless tales for the audience of today. Rachel Zegler has stayed mostly quiet, meanwhile, since the reboot announcement. Once hailed for her breakthrough performance in West Side Story, she discovered she was caught in the middle of an online firestorm as Snow White film criticism peaked. Her media appearances, meant to encourage empowerment, were seen as tone-deaf and disrespectful to the original material. Zegler later claimed her words had been taken out of context, but by then the reaction had grown independent of context. Her absence from the new film was expected. Although no official comment has been made, sources claim Disney is keen for a fresh start behind the scenes as well as on screen. Though Zegler's public commentary is yet unknown, for now she seems to be distancing herself from the limelight, in line with Disney's seeming aim to keep the focus on the movie instead of the personalities involved. Disney reportedly drastically cut the premiere for Zegler's adaptation, as bad reviews started to flood in. Nobody really showed up for the premiere, though. One insider observed, the Rotten Tomatoes reviews were looking pretty bad, and it seems like they tried to fix a few things, but this movie is just fundamentally flawed. The debate might have had long-term effects on careers, not only harm the chances of the movie. She destroyed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of IP for Disney, but she also has destroyed her career and the careers of anybody who worked on the movie, one analyst said bluntly. Disney allegedly went so far as to pay a special media consultant to travel with Zegler and stop more divisive remarks. With Disney allegedly canceling all of Zegler's appearances on their media outlets, the situation grew so bad that producers and executives described as far-left, left-wing activists in Hollywood started opposing Zegler. For a production already beset with issues, this type of internal fragmentation revealed just how dire things had gotten. Fans online are displaying wary hope about the reboot announcement, in spite of these losses. The news has spurred discussions on legacy, atonement, and what it actually means to go back to a narrative as dear as Snow White. Some remain dubious, while others show hope for a return to form. One user wrote, "I simply want the magic returned. Please give me the tunes, the love, the motive animation, the forest. If they get it perfect this time, I will be there opening night." Disney is depending on that attitude turning into actual trust for ticket sales. Late 2025 is expected to see pre-production on the movie. A theatrical release for spring 2027 is scheduled. Already under development are marketing initiatives with a thorough plan, including official artwork, early soundtrack previews, and behind-the-scenes featurettes meant to generate excitement and goodwill. The studio is even in talks with Disney Parks to bring Snow White-themed attractions back before the film's release, so demonstrating their seriousness about restoring the princess's reputation in all spheres of the Disney business. Disney refuses to let Snow White linger in the shadow of a single mistake. Thus, whether this approach succeeds where the last one failed is yet unknown. This isn't simply another remake. This is a reputation restoration project for a studio seeking the fairy tale genre. Should the new iteration find the ideal mix, it could serve as a reminder to viewers all around why Snow White was the movie that launched it all for Disney Animation, as production behind the scenes gets underway. Executives are apparently concentrating especially on cohesiveness, consistency, and emotional impact. Every element, from costumes and casting to lighting, set design, and music, is under close review by several departments to guarantee it captures both Disney's classic values and modern narrative capacity. Through this ordeal, the studio seems to have acquired a vital lesson that no amount of corporate polish can replace the real magic of narrative. This Snow White needs to feel like returning home to the fairy tale that generations have loved if it is to really succeed. Disney's challenge now is negotiating a cultural terrain where audiences are more dubious of remakes, yet still yearning for real storytelling that honors the past while acknowledging the present. More than just another attempt to mine nostalgia for profit, the Snow White reboot tests whether Disney can recapture the storytelling magic that first created their empire. While most importantly, the families and fans who have made Disney a cultural touchstone for almost a century will be watching closely to see if this dramatic course correction pays off, industry analysts will also be observing closely. One longtime Disney animator reportedly said during a reboot consultation meeting, "Remember what first made people fall in love with Snow White? Heart, wonder, and a story that seems timeless since it speaks to something real. Disney would prefer him to be in better shape.